My name is Eldon Dedini. I'm a cartoonist. I wake up each morning and try and be funny as hell. Often you start, and I'm sure all cartoonists do that, they don't know where they're going with it. You just begin.
Eldon Dedini has made a career as a gag writer and cartoonist for some of America's most prominent magazines. Eldon's career spans 6 decades, including work at Universal Studios, Disney, The New Yorker, Esquire magazine, and Playboy. Eldon's life began in 1921. His early years were spent on his parents' ranch in King City, California. This is the story of one of America's greatest cartoonists, Eldon Dedini.
I was born in King City, which people often laugh at. They wonder how somebody came from King City and became a cartoonist. But I think it was darn good. When I was there, maybe 3,000 people. And most of them from some ethnic group, you know, Hispanic, Indian, Italian, Italian-Swiss, Portuguese. I heard broken English, I think, all my life and didn't know it. They were all in the vegetable business, cattle business, rural, agricultural. When the sun went down, we didn't have electric light. You had a lamp, and you'd sit around the fireplace or the lamp telling stories and jokes. My own family were in the saloon business. People around bars tell stories, and my father filtered them down to the kids.
He was 3 or 4 when he began drawing. And his mother would give him paper tablets to draw on. And then I remember him telling me that at one point he was going through so much paper that she bought him a chalkboard.
But I remember at the ranch, there's siesta time or whatever, I had a notebook. And I'd look at cartoons and I'd make up jokes and I'd write them down.
They had a ranch called the Indians about 20 miles outside of King City. And they used to have the need for signs on fence posts, you know, keep the gate closed, and he would draw those signs.
My grandfather had another ranch, the Wild Horse Ranch. In fact, we slept outside in the summer, looked at the stars. My aunt used to say, "Don't sleep under the moon, you'll go crazy." They're very superstitious. My mother taught school, country school, Little Red Schoolhouse. Hearst had 155,000 acres, and he bordered us, and he must have 30 or 40,000 cattle, and probably 5,000 registered bulls. Great big guys with numbers on their horns, They come up to our fence, not all 5,000, but 6 or 7 are already in trouble because they see our cows. They walk right through the fence. The father was always fixing the fence. Well, after the second time, he just opened the gate when he saw them. As a consequence, after 10, 12 years of this, our herd was as good as a horse. We had big, sturdy animals. Once in a while, I remember I spent 2 days picking onions. We'd raise a lot of onions and sell them, I don't know, $1 a sack. Out in the hot sun with onions. Boy, you smell like onions at the end of the day. You can't believe. Sunburned and tired. And, of course, I was drawing then. And so my brother, if there was a choice, I drew, and my brother got on a horse and did other things. But in school, because I could draw, classmates would say, draw something on my t-shirt, or we used to wear sailor hats, and I used to print their name or draw a funny picture. I couldn't do a caricature at that age, but I'd draw a dumb head and put their initials on it, and they were happy. Somewhere in freshman, sophomore, I discovered there is a career as a gag writer and cartoonist, and I'm going to be that.
He had an art teacher named Leon Amix, who was really a mentor toward my father.
He's like a father figure. He said, make a portfolio, go down to the local newspaper, the Salinas Index Journal and the Salinas Morning Post. Offer your services to do cartoons for them, for nothing, for the experience. I learned 2 things. Make your deadline, listen to what the editor's saying, be astute as you can, follow through, do it. Cartooning is self-taught. Anybody try to teach you cartooning, it's cliches. I mean, it's all right. I took a correspondence course, but that's almost what you learn what not to do, because it's cookie cutter stuff. And take, drawing, painting, learn, because you adapt it into cartooning. That's how I think my style resulted, looking at Bellini and Giorgione and Bruegel and Daumier, and Goya. That's where you learn. I was drafted, and I have a heart murmur. I remember going to San Francisco, standing around naked all day, and they said, you're excused, join the Merchant Marine. Well, I didn't do that. I went to Chenard instead.
In 1942, Eldon set his sights on Hollywood. He moved to Los Angeles to attend Chenard Art Institute. There he met 2 women who would be with him for the rest of his life. His future wife, Virginia Conroy, and her sister, Pat Carey.